He is in the process of being looked at by our doctors, overall body soreness, as I understand it. And we're bringing Noah Davis to taxi. We haven't made a decision on the IL. But yeah, the doc's gonna look at it and we'll kind of see where we go from there.
Was body soreness something that he came to you guys with after coming out of the game, or was that something today that's kind of new in addition to the shoulder?
This is new in addition to the shoulder.
And some of the stuff the doctors are doing, is that just testing, or is that just sort of?
I think it's more testing as far as kind of the eye test and some physical, some manual things.
Did he go in for imaging or anything?
No, he did not.
How likely do you think it is he ends up on IL right now?
I would say it's more likely than not.
What does this do to your rotation going forward?
Obviously, tomorrow we have a bullpen game. We're going to drop Tony in on Wednesday. And right there, I think that, Tony's going to be in there, and we'll just kind of figure out where we go. Honestly, right now, I just really don't know how it's going to play out in the next, call it, week to 10 days.
Yeah, but 10 games without a break. Are we going to be seeing bullpen games on a regular?
I wouldn't say on the regular, but I think that there is, in one kind of conversation to potentially as well, but we're just not sure yet.
Is there maybe a move to like a more formal 6-man rotation, like six, the same 6 guys, like with fewer team off days in May?
I don't know. I don't think we have 6. So I would say probably against the 6-man rotation.
Are Roki and Yama in a place where they could go on 5 days rest as opposed to the 6 they've been on so far?
Yeah, that's a conversation as well. I think both guys we did it with, I think, Yamamoto last year, right around this time. And then it's another thought as far as, given the amount of games we have in a row, to, have them have less rest in between starts.
With Blake and Tyler both going through something, obviously people are going to think back to the last couple of years of pitching injuries you guys have had. How do you feel about the state of the overall staff right now, and how concerning or just difficult it is to work around with those two guys kind of going through stuff right now?
It's pitching is certainly volatile. We experienced it last year. I mean, essentially every year. I think the thing that's probably most disconcerting is the bullpen, leading Major League Baseball in bullpen innings. And I think that that's something, when you're talking about the long season, the starters are built up to be able to take those innings down. So that's where sort of my head is at as far as trying to make sure we don't redline these guys in the pen.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys feel like Tyler's shoulder is structurally sound?
Yes, we do. We do. There's, Alden, there's the mechanics piece of it. There's the uncomfortable, not feeling right. So I think we're all just trying to, as Tyler said it, very frustrating, and just trying to get to the bottom of it.
And for Tommy Edman, just a day off today?
Yeah, just a day off. I think that this is probably his first day off, game off. So I just feel that he's sort of grinding right now, and getting Miggy Rowe against his old ball club a start is a good thing.
And Dave, kind of the early numbers on Mookie's play at shortstop have been very positive. So what's been kind of the biggest difference between this year and last year at that position? And would you say we're kind of past it being an experiment and more of he's just like a everyday big league shortstop at this point?
Yeah, I think so. I think last year it was certainly experimental. I think there's a lot of indecisiveness with reading hops and making throws, different arm angles, where now he just seems everything's more fluid, and certainly the confidence is exuded every single time he's out there. So yeah, I just see him as a major league shortstop.
And some of his numbers, like the hard hit rate, fail rates, have been down a little bit. Do you think that has any potential to kind of impact him at the plate through just the rigors of playing that position for an entire year?
That's something that I don't think anyone knows. It is more of a demanding position. Mookie's got his weight back up. He feels strong. I think some of it is, where you're making contact on the barrel versus off the end of the bat, the pitch selection, talking about kind of exit velocity, stuff like that. So I don't think anyone can really speak to the fact that because he's playing shortstop, exit velo's down or not.
Have
Blake Snell and Blake Treinen doing anything new at this stage in their rehab?
They're not. They're laying low, not playing catch, and until they hear otherwise.
Dave, Clayton McCullough getting his World Series ring before the game today. Just can you describe for the Miami media just what he meant to this team and what your relationship was like?
Yeah, Clayton is a very, very special person, a very special coach, and the Marlins got a really good one. We miss him a ton, and he helped us win a championship. You know, I think for me, it's just a guy that, you know, loves people, loves players, loves the game, always wants to learn, and really see people thrive. And I think that that's really a good trait for a manager. Always, you know, and also still willing to have the hard conversation to challenge people. He brings energy every day, and certainly the Marlins are playing good baseball. As I was talking to Clayton today, he said that I think there was 18 players this year that made their opening day debut for the roster for the Marlins, and it's a little different than our club, but there's a lot of talent there, and they're playing good baseball. So I miss him dearly, but I'm happy to see that he can sort of make his own way now.
Dave, how impactful was Clayton for this team during the time he was here, whether it was helping with the infield or base running, whatever he was doing?
He was a game changer. You know, when he was here, certainly he was a farm director in the minor leagues, so he has that under his belt. And then as far as a major league coach, he was in charge of the outfield and the base running. And so we did a really good job with the outfield, preventing runs, and then being aggressive, smartly on the bases. And really a great worker. And so now, certainly in this role, he's not doing that anymore. His scope has gotten a lot more broad, but he's handling it well.
Did he ask you for any advice about being a manager?
We talked this past off-season, you know, after he got the job, and I know some of the people that he's with. Not, you know, one thing in particular. I think Clayton is very observant, and I think for me is he's just got to be himself. You know, he can't be me or any other person, you know, managing his players, his organization, because no one knows them or should know him any better. I do think that having direct conversations is important, and kind of checking your ego, which isn't a problem for him because there's always a lot of scrutiny and kind of criticism, but he's doing great.
With Treinen, is that kind of the prescription, just rest for an undefined period?
That's it, yeah. I think with Blake, you know, just what we were going through, just appreciating the fact that we're going to need him for the second half and beyond. And so, you know, if we have time and take the time to, when we get back, when he gets back, that we can just go from there and not look back. So I think Blake Snell is in that similar kind of bucket.
Snell wound up getting an injection initially.
He did. I'm not sure when, but he did get an injection. Yes.
Is Treinen in Arizona to go home?
You know what? I haven't seen Blake in a while, so I think he's here. I think he's here, but I'm not sure. He kind of this place is vast with this renovation, so some of these guys I got to search for him. So he's like in a bunker somewhere, I think.
What markers are you guys gonna need to see from those guys before they can start growing again and building back up?
Certainly pain-free. I think pain-free is one thing, and just building up arm strength. And then they've actually both been through this, so there's a point of reference for both those guys.
And one more on Tyler, if he goes on the IL, is it just kind of waiting until he feels better? Is it gonna give him time to kind of like work on his mechanics to find something that he's comfortable with? Like what would kind of be the plan with him to get him back?
You know, obviously, if you're going to go on the IL, if it does happen, it's about the health. And for me, if we're going to do this, then let's make sure that we have everything taken care of as far as the mechanics, the physical part of it. So when we do get him back, then we can just move forward without looking back. So this is going to be a tricky one as far as timeline.
He talked about, you know, he thought maybe some of the soreness, discomfort came from the mechanical changes. Changes can be uncomfortable. How do you kind of walk the line between, you know, just discomfort that you work through and actual like injury prevention?
I think that's a very fair question, but I think that's an individual question. My position is when you have somebody that is complaining about things, certainly a pitcher, you're very cautious to prevent against any type of injury. So the things that I hear, the things that I see, sort of dictates my decisions. In spring training, he felt good with the new delivery. So until he didn't, so I just really can't speak to that.
Dave, Japanese Heritage Night, your thoughts on the celebration tonight?
That's great, yeah. My mom will be happy. I'm sure we're going to be very well represented tonight. There's a great Japanese culture here in Los Angeles, and hopefully Shohei hits a homer and makes all the Japanese fans excited. But no, I think it's great just around baseball, just representing all the different cultures. I think it's fantastic.
Dave, what was your reaction to Andy Baca's being named co-player of the week?
Is that right? Good for him. Yeah, that's my reaction. There you go. Andy's doing great. I'm happy for him. He's worked hard as a young player to scuffle and struggle and still sort of keep some confidence and keep going. And to be rewarded like that was great. So I'm sure it's going to be one of many more to come. Thanks, guys.